Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Level Up Lando. The show that's doubling is all about Aspen. Level Up Lando is the show that takes you inside the struggles, the trials, the tribulations, and the occasional successes. That is the everyday challenge of my life. As I pursue my never ending effort of trying to level up, I'm your host, Landon Like a Plane, and I'm coming to you from my bedroom, also known as Truscott Studios, right here in Aspen, Colorado. Today is Wednesday, October 8th at 9:23 a.m. and I am coming to you angry. It is an angry morning for Lando, even though it's blue skies as we're kind of pretty much at the end of fall. There's still some yellow on the leaves here, but most of the big aspen groves have fallen off, and it is cold. Winter is basically here as fall rounds its season out. And man, I got it's. Have you ever had situations where nothing's really that wrong? Nothing's really particular. I shouldn't feel the way that I'm feeling. I should be happy. I should be stoked. And that's basically this episode is me trying to talk myself off a ledge of being angry. It's 9:24 a.m., so it's not that early in the day. I mean, not that late in the day to justify being this pissed off. So let's talk about how I got here. Then we will talk our way through it. And really looking forward today to getting to the Daily Stoic, which is generally the game changer and one of the main tools I have to help me reframe my mentality, my mental state, my day, my life, my thoughts, my philosophy. So we'll get to that. That comes towards the end of the episode. But to start off, let's see, where have we left off? It's been a great fall. Fall is the high season for most photographers around here. It's just so stunning. And I used the drone and flew the drone a lot and was able to capture a lot. I negotiated a deal with a realtor, and we're working on creating a bunch of different videos for a variety of different properties that he wanted me to go capture while the leaves were kind of at their peak season. And I did. I got it. So, yay, Lando. That's a pat on the back. Good job. We shot what we needed to get to be able to now I can edit and I don't have to go back out and the leaves are gone, So it's like, okay, cool. I got what I needed to get when I needed to get it. So that's a level up. That's a level up, Lando. Yay. It feels good to pat yourself on the back even when you're angry. So then, as I was reviewing some of the footage, another big thing is that I finished editing all of the videos for the e-bike company, Silver City Cycles, and got them their videos. So that job is complete, and I now need to invoice them, and part of that invoice includes getting an electric bike. So, yay, landed an electric bike. And a little bit of a payday, plus I finished all of the work necessary in order to do that job and complete it. So that's another big yay, Landon. Client acquired, client shot, client completed videos, and now it's just about finishing the invoice and getting paid. So that's great. That's a really good win. In addition to that, I also went and shot that race. So I've got another potential client I might be able to finagle out of this whole fall season. So it was a really good fall. And in that way, I should be kind of proud of myself. And I am. But, again, just kind of trying to talk my way through some of this just frustration, I guess. So, all right. Fall is pretty good. So then I get back and I'm looking at, I'm editing all the videos for the e-bike company, and I finished that and I decided to start editing for the realtor. So I'm looking at some of the footage that I have for the realtor, and there's a $24 million mansion that I got to shoot, and it's incredible. And it's so cool that I get to go be around properties that are worth that kind of money, and I'm getting paid to go film them. And so I'm looking at the video that I shot, and I shot it in the morning because that's when there was going to be blue skies, and that's what the realtor wanted. But there were shadows all over the house, and I kind of saw it, but when I looked at it in the video, it doesn't look good. So I was like, all right, I'm going to then shoot at a different time of day. I'm going to shoot at noon or 1 when the sun is higher in the sky and there's no shadow. And so I go to do that. And I put the drone in the air and everything's fine. I'm flying the drone. And it's just hovering. I don't really even have my hands on the joysticks. And I was just shooting a couple photos. And while it's hovering in the air, I'm not doing anything. It just takes off. And it just starts flying away. And it flies into the woods. And so I try to grab the controllers and take control over it, but it won't let me. And I press the return to home button and it won't return to home. So I'm just screwed as I watch it fly itself into a tree and crash. And I literally just got this drone back after crashing it when I was filming for the Wii Cycle guys. I mean, not the Summer Sea Cycle guys. So super annoyed, super bummed. I'm able to actually go and find it, and I recover it, and I come back and I file a flyaway report with the company, and hopefully I'm going to get another drone sent to me, but I'm waiting for that drone to get sent to me. But in the meantime, I was able to repair the drone, test it out to see if it flies, and it still flies. So I figured now I'm flying on borrowed time because I should have a broken drone, and it's just the last few days of the leaves before they're gone. So I get out there, and I've been flying these last few days. Yesterday was a really fun day. I went with my friend Nick back to this area called LANDO, where there's still a little bit of leaves turning, and most of the leaves have definitely fallen off. It's just sort of everywhere. It's the end of fall, but beautiful area, and it's real close to Aspen. It's like 20 minutes away. So that was a super fun day exploring back there, and I brought the drone back there, and I flew a lot, and I got some really nice views and some really nice shots and photos and video. So, again, pretty happy with everything that's going on there. I've also paid my rent for October, which, yay, man, not to level up. Every time you can pay your rent, to level up. But, man, I just got no money. It's pretty frustrating to be at the end of, getting these projects done and, having my rent paid and then just still having, like, no money. I've got a couple $100 left, and then the money that I've got coming to me that's supposed to help me, it's got to go to November's rent. So I'm a little bit frustrated and annoyed and angry at myself for not having figured this out by now. It just feels like even when I'm getting success and even when I'm feeling like winning and victory, that I'm still fighting this uphill battle that's a struggle. And you think that if you win and you find enough success that eventually it gets easier. I would love to be able to afford to pay for all of my bills and rent and still have money left over. So we'll see. It's just a struggle, and a big part of that is my own decisions and my own poor choices that where I waste money and I shouldn't do that, and I do, and I have, and so it's costing me now some of the poor short-sighted decisions where I was unable to control my impulses. That's another thing that I'm noticing through the anger is it. I was listening to a video earlier, and they're like, when you're angry, your impulse control goes down. And I was like, oh, that's interesting because I'm just feeling like, the anger in me makes me want to just be like, fuck it, fuck the day. I'm just mad. I'm going to chalk up the day to a loss and, just get fucked up or something. Just sort of pout and make bad choices. And instead, I'm trying to talk myself off a ledge, and it's still early enough in the day that once I can kind of work through some of my emotion and get back to a place of feeling stable and neutral, that I can use this day because I got shit to do, man. So So what happened to get me into this sort of upset place, which I can already feel I've sort of calmed down a little bit, but it's I have had this doctor's appointment. I've had this doctor's appointment to get blood work done for the last like 2 weeks, and I had it this morning, which is why I'm up so early. But to get the appointment and like to get everything done, so yesterday they called me and they said your insurance isn't valid, and I talked to them last week for a while, making sure that it was. So I was like, it is. I checked. They checked. I've already done this, and they're like, well, we're just letting you know it's not valid. And I was like, we need to check again because I already did this. I did it on Friday, and now I'm annoyed that I have to do it again, and that you're telling me it's not valid because the appointment's tomorrow. And so then he does some checking on his side, and he's like, "You're right, it was valid. We just didn't update it, so now it's updated, so everything's good. We'll send you an estimate for how much all the blood work you're going to get done is going to cost you." And I was like, "What do you know how much it's going to cost me?" And he's like, "Yeah, there's an estimate." So they send me the estimate. It's $1,000. I don't have $1,000, so I call him back, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't have $1,000. Like, what do I do here?" And he's just like, "Well, it's because some of the blood tests that you want to get done aren't covered by your insurance." And I was trying to get all this blood work done, and they were like, "Yeah, your insurance sort of changed recently, and it's not covering a bunch of what it used to cover." So I was like, "All right, we'll cancel anything that costs money." So there was went from like doing 5 blood tests to 2. So and then they make me transfer to a different department so that I can reschedule because now I don't have so many tests, so I have a shorter window. So, anyways, I'm just annoyed at that whole thing. And so then I go in there this morning, and similar situation. The lady at the front doesn't know anything about what I've already dealt with, so I'm waiting there for 10 or 15 minutes for her to figure out like the active insurance and canceling the blood tests and which blood tests cost money and which ones don't. And so then I go and I get my blood drawn and I come back and it's confronting because I just don't really have very much money, and it's my health. It's annoying to me that I wanted to get all these other blood tests done and I can't afford it, and that because I can't afford it, I can't know about the health of my body. It's such bullshit. But whatever, it is what it is. And so then I get on my phone, and one of my friends starts like this nasty argument with me. And I'm just like, I don't need this bullshit. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't care. And so, yeah, then I just sat on my couch, frustrated and sort of fuming for a while until I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come record a podcast because at least then I get to read from the Daily Stoic. And so I'm really looking forward to that. But before that, we have the Little Green Book of Accountability. So let's take a look at that because this is really what I got to get done today. And this is the plan. So the question that I want to ask and then I ask myself is like, have you ever had a day, like a bad day, where you just completely come off the rails and like when you derail yourself, it just fucks up everything else? And like I said, I'm on like a winning trajectory. I'm on a good streak, and I'm so upset just at the fact that despite that, I'm not where I need to be financially, and that the frustration of having to deal with that is very real. And so here we are. Um, the solution to that is not go get fucked up and just waste your day kind of wallowing. You got to take action. Layla Hormozy, Alex Hormozy's wife, has this line where she says, "Fuck your mood," and her whole thing is, the difference in between winning and losing is being able to continue to perform when you don't feel like it. And so that resonates for me, and so my attempt at being the person in the future that I want to be is not to give in to upset and impulse, but instead to take action and continue to deliver on the plan and strategy to achieve so that I can still feel shitty and still be upset, but get shit done anyway. And so that's the decision I made. That's why I started the podcast, was to get to this where I could write down the things I need to do today and then just start checking them off the list. But like, first, you know what? Let's list the reasons that I'm mad because I'm fucking pissed off. So the number one easy reason is I don't have any money in my bank account. I barely have enough money to buy food, and I've got lots of bills to pay, and I got my car registration to pay. I've got my insurance to pay, and between those two, that's going to pretty much take all the rest of the money. Then on top of that, I got like barely any more income coming in. I got the rest of this project for Doug, and then hopefully I can convert that into another video or two, and maybe I can turn $2,000 into $6,000, which would be great because then I could actually like afford a ski pass, and I'd be okay till like December. Where if I have to go get a job working for another company, I can. But for right now, I'm just struggling, and it's just brutal looking at the bank account and seeing a couple $100 and knowing that it's the 8th of October. That's the other thing. I'm angry that how fast the month is going by. I'm angry that my room is messy and that my life is sort of messy, and that I don't have, the organization and the quality of goods that I care to have, that everything I own is secondhand and used. And I'm annoyed that, it's freaking cold, man. I'm not ready for winter. I'm sitting here in a jacket in my house because I got my window open still, which I got to shut it because it's just too cold, I'm annoyed that I've been making poor choices lately with my own decision making and health, and that I'm not doing a very good job controlling my impulses, and I'm spending money in ways that I don't need to spend money, and that I can't afford to spend money, and that the drone flew away, and that I got to get a new one, and it's going to cost me money, and I don't have the money. What else am I mad about? I don't have food. I can barely afford food, and the food that I buy, I eat it in a couple of days, and then I got to go buy it again, and I can't afford it. What else? What else? Yeah, the fact that it's cold is really kind of pissing me off. That's a pretty good rundown. So, like I said, nothing that should really be making me mad. The fact that it's cold shouldn't make me mad, but it does. So, and you're allowed to be where you're allowed to be, It's okay for you to be at where you're at. So, here we go. That was 10-3. Today's 10-8. And we got top of the list, laundry, clean the apartment, because those are little wins that then can help me feel better. And then we got to start doing bigger stuff. We've got to pay some bills. We got State Farm and student loans and debt. What else do we got? Oh, okay, we got the Ute Mountaineer and the newspaper. Doctor's appointment time. I want to get a run in, maybe a little golf. Invoice. Video edit for Doug. Oh. All right. Okay. So there we go. We got a little list of things that we need to get done today. Nothing too crazy on there. But it would be good to just get ahead on some of this editing. If I can convert some of those videos and get another $2 or $4 grand coming, that would really right the ship. So that's the other thing about my situation, is it's not like it doesn't take much to turn it right around. I can be like really kind of in dire straits and then have a great client come along and suddenly everything's better. So All right, so here we go with the Daily Stoic. This is 366 meditations on perseverance, wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. The art of living is my favorite part of that. The wisdom and the perseverance are good, but it's the art of living that I think is very cool. And that's by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Thanks, guys, for putting the book together. I appreciate it. It helps me, as we're about to see. So we're about to check out what the Daily Stoic has to say for us today. But before that, as you already know throughout this episode, I am annoyed, I'm frustrated, I'm pissed off, I'm disappointed, and I am not feeling too good in my own skin. I'm feeling dejected and apathetic and like I want to just give up. And that all of the effort that I put in is just kind of spinning my wheels, and that I really want and feel like I should be further than I am for how hard I'm trying. And it's disappointing that I'm not, even though I've got a lot of really great wins and examples of how I am succeeding. So, yeah, going back to like how I feel inside my body, I can feel like my blood pressure's high. I can feel like I'm tense. I'm looking forward to trying to go for a run after this because I'm not like it's the cortisol, like I feel stressed out. And it's very uncomfortable for me because I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. I don't feel stressed out too often, which is why I wanted to record this, was to get some of it on film, even though I can sense it doesn't feel like it's a great episode because I'm kind of repeating the same thing again and again, but it's just what it is. I am frustrated. So frustrated and stressed out along with disappointed and apathetic. I feel unmotivated. I feel lazy. I feel a very strong desire and impulse to self-sabotage and make poor choices on purpose with the idea that it somehow punishes myself and that I need to be punished for some of these stupid decisions I've made in the recent past. So that's how I feel. Let's see how the Daily Stoic changes that. Today is October 8th. A higher pleasure. Yes, getting your wish would have been so nice. But isn't that exactly why pleasure trips us up? Instead, see if these things might be even nicer. A great soul, freedom, honesty, kindness, saintliness. For there is nothing so pleasing as wisdom itself. When you consider how sure-footed and effortless the works of understanding and knowledge are. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 5.9. Nobody can argue that pleasure doesn't feel good. That's pretty much what it does by definition. But today, Marcus Aurelius is reminding you, just as he reminded himself, that those pleasures hardly stand up to virtue. The dopamine rush that comes from sex is momentary. So is the pride of an accomplishment or the hearty applause of a crowd. These pleasures are powerful, but they wear off and leave us wanting more. What lasts longer and remains more within our circle of control, wisdom, good character, sobriety, and kindness. Well, I guess that kind of was just emphasizing what I was just saying, which is the idea that, I do have those things that I was talking about at the end. I do have honesty, kindness, good character, and sobriety. And in that way, let's just touch on the sobriety one. There's a big impulse in me that wants to get fucked up and avoid and deny some of the uncomfortable feelings that I'm experiencing. And that's a pretty normal course of action for me, given the history of my life. That's pretty standard, is the desire to run away from the emotion and numb myself in whatever capacity so as not to have to face the unpleasant experience of processing that emotion. And instead, I'm choosing to kind of remain sober and vent into the internet and let you guys all watch and assess that in whatever way you might. But it does feel good. It's a more healthy way to outlet and allow and process the emotion instead of running from it and denying it. So that's why I like these podcasts, and that's why I like the Daily Stoic. It also juxtaposes, pleasure versus long-term delayed gratification. It's not easy to become a good person. It's not easy to tell the truth when it's easier to lie. It's not easy to be kind when someone's being mean to you. And those are all things that I've really put a lot of time and effort into practicing, and I'm still not perfect at, but I am massively improved from the young man that I once was, who was really an asshole when it came to being selfish and entitled and opinionated and letting other people know that they were wrong. And now I don't do that, or I do it less anyway. So that is a big win for me. And again, that's less of what resonates for me, although it isn't, the whole sobriety thing is interesting because there's a big part of me that is just like, just go get fucked up. And to not do that, to instead vent into the podcast and then go for a run and then get some of this stuff done on this list is a much better and healthier way to handle life when you don't like it. And like Layla Hormozy says, fuck your mood. Your mood doesn't matter. What matters is your actions, and what matters is doing what you say you're going to do. And so that's what I'm going to try to get done. This little list of things I need to do, including laundry and cleaning my apartment, are the things I'm saying I'm going to do today. And I'm going to go set about doing them. I'm trying to say fuck my mood. And I don't really care that I'm upset and that I'm being a little whiny bitch, that I'm going to go take care of what needs to get done anyway, because in the bird's eye, big picture view of it, I care more about achieving and getting to where I want to go with my business and my life than I do about how I feel right this particular moment, which is still annoyed. I could still feel the stress and the cortisol. So we're going to transition from the podcast into a run, and hopefully that helps to burn off some of that stress and emotion. That's the guy that I was listening to today says anger is adrenaline with nowhere to go. And so when you move your body, when you do push-ups or when you go for a run or shake it out or whatever, you can burn off some of that. So that's what we're going to do. Here we are on October 8th. It was my little sister Haley's birthday yesterday. And yeah, man, the world keeps spinning. We keep getting older. Hopefully you're getting wiser and more self-aware along the way. I know that I am, and I'm at least aspiring to if I'm not. But it definitely feels like I'm slowly inching my way towards becoming the version of the person that I need to be so that I can actually steward this success and this money that I've got coming to me and that I'm going to get. So with that, I'll leave you to it. I hope that you have a great day. And if you're not having a great day like I'm not, I hope that you can turn it around like I'm about to. So with that, I'm your host, landing like a plane, and I'm taking off.